It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Once again, we have a great show for you. This show particularly, for those of you who live in Luzerne County, this is a very important show. You're going to learn about what's happening in the county. You know, we have a new county manager, Romilda Crocamo, okay? And I said it before.
You said it perfectly before.
Right?
I guess the cameras make you nervous.
Yeah, I don't
You've never done it before.
I haven't done it before. Romilda is the new county manager, and she's here today to talk about what's happening in the county. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Rick Morelli and the team here were very supportive of you and doing a job that was done so well with Dave Pedri.
Absolutely. Dave was an extraordinary leader.
Before you became the county manager, okay, tell us a little bit about what you did.
Well, by trade, I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing law for over 30 years. I've worked with local firms here in Hazleton, Scranton, and New York City. And then in 2016, under Dave Pedri, he was the county manager, I was the chief county solicitor. I held that position until 2021 when Dave unfortunately left the county, and I was the acting county manager until 2022. And then I resigned from the county. I was in private practice. I was a shareholder with the law firm Elliott Greenleaf and Dean, which is a law firm that has the main office in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, but has local offices. And I was also a part-time assistant solicitor for Mayor Cognetti in the city of Scranton. And in May of 2021, I came back to the role of Luzerne County Manager.
So in the positions you had prior to becoming county manager, you were able to see a lot of things in the county.
Yes.
So you didn't come into it as a new person out of the area coming in and learning what has to be done. You were in the mix right now.
I was the law clerk for Judge Gartley from 2010, and I was part of the county. So I was very familiar with county laws and politics.
One of the things that always concerned me, Romilda, as I said to you before, is that when this county manager thing was being talked about, I wasn't for it, because I figured that when you have a lot of people on a board, then it becomes a political issue, okay? And when you have 3 county commissioners, if they're not doing what you should be doing, you vote them out, okay? I became a convert when Dave Pedri was hired, because Dave did an outstanding job, and he was right up there, transparent and working for the county, and you could see the benefits of what he did. When I was the chairman of the board of the college, Luzerne County Community College, Romilda, as a trustee, we set our agenda. And someone says, what does a trustee do? Well, a trustee is to see that the county is properly run, not to run the county.
Correct.
And so in your position, we have a budget, we have items that have to be attained. Your job is to do it. My job is to see, are you doing those things?
Correct.
Okay? For me to come in and start telling you to this and that and run, that's no good. And I hope that's not working right now, okay? How are you getting along with the 11 council people?
I have to say that both the administration, meaning the division head and department heads and myself and the council are collaborating and communicating on a regular basis. The charter is set up how you described it. Council is a legislative body. They have control over the purse strings. The administration, under the county manager's tutelage, has control over the day-to-day operations. And right now, there are times when I do seek council members' input on some day-to-day operation questions, but the decision is ultimately mine. And I have to answer not only to council, but I have to answer to the community, the Luzerne County community. But there's a new spirit of collaboration and cooperation between council members and myself, and Controller Griffith and myself. I'm committed, as Dave Pedri was, to transparency and communications. And it starts internally within the administration, within the departments. We're trying to collaborate more between and among departments, and then also with council. My job is to keep council informed, and that's what I'm doing. Every week I send them updates. Sometimes they're updates that are very difficult to update them on. There are hurdles and challenges that we face, and sometimes they're positive. But my job is to keep them informed, and I'm committed to do that.
How do you keep the politics out of it? Okay, instead of having Democrats and Republicans and there's a majority board, how do you keep that crap, okay, out of it, okay, that you're able to run the county the way you should be running it, so you're not involved with political nonsense, okay? Now, I know we have to run as either a Democrat or Republican,
Right.
okay, but I don't like when they're saying, well, we have a Republican majority or a Democrat majority. That doesn't fly with me. I think it's the operation itself and what you do in that operation.
Right.
Okay, because you have to answer to the entire Luzerne County.
Correct.
How do you feel about that?
I'm comfortable not being political. I understand politics.
You certainly do.
But my decisions and my recommendations, the way I look at it, I'm not a mathematician, but the way I look at it is there's an equation, and on one side of the equation is what we're trying to achieve. On the other side of the equal sign is what's best for Luzerne County. Mm-hmm. And that's the decision that influences the decisions that I make and that I present to council. And I, as a lawyer, I am used to having evidence and base it on facts, and I provide that to council. So if I give council a recommendation to do something like sign a contract with a vendor, I do it based on the facts, that this is the best vendor, this is the best price that we could get to achieve whatever goal that we need. And that's what's best for the county. If I get to a point that I feel that I have to do some political machinations to get something done, then it would be time for me to move on. I'm committed to just be as transparent and factually accurate as we possibly can.
How many divisions that you have, that you're in charge of, okay? And then how do you know what's going on in those divisions?
So here are the divisions. We have the correctional facility. We have human services. We have administrative services. We have the Office of Law. We have judicial records. We have operations. So we meet. I meet on a regular basis with my division heads. And I meet with them individually. As a matter of fact, the next 2 weeks I have individual meetings, and we have the Public Defender's Office, which is another division. I have individual meetings with all my division heads, and then every other month I like to have a meeting with the division heads and the department heads. But every month, and this is something that Dave Pedri did, and I'm continuing it, the divisions send reports to me, which then I in turn report to council. So I get written reports and then I meet with them as well.
So you're dealing with a $350 million budget.
Yes.
Okay, and that $350 million goes distributed to all these agent divisions, you're saying?
Divisions, departments, outside entities.
So
yes.
The question is, it's like United Way, okay? Who gets what? How do they get it? How do they submit it? Because the services today there's a demand on services.
Correct.
And unfortunately, you know, you'd like to service as many people as you could, but sometimes budget restraints give you that opportunity that you cannot do that, okay? How do you handle that?
Well, this year, what I did was I created a budget team. And on that budget team, obviously, are staff from budget and finance. I have the assistant controller who has a wealth of experience in the private sector. I have him on the budget team as well. So what we do is we start with meeting with our division heads, and they come to us and they tell us what their needs are, what they anticipate, some maybe added costs or added revenue. This year, I sent a memo out to all the division heads. There will be no tax increase, but I wanted to freeze all the expenses. And what we're doing is we're starting on the road to really look very, very specifically at the expenses in the county. We have come a long way. The budget, have it scheduled to be going to the printer next week. It will be finalized and then sent to council. So the team has met on numerous occasions with the division and the department heads. And then this week we're finalizing, actually tomorrow, my day is pretty much set with meeting with the division heads and the budget team to finalize the budget.
You know, I found, Romilda, we're up here at the Laurel Mall, of course, and a lot of nice people come up here and they sit around and they talk, a lot of retired people. And I like to go and talk with them and get their input. And some of them, you know, they have enough in their lives to be concerned about, and other than the bad politics.
Right.
So they're concerned about, you know, especially today with inflation and the way that things are going, it's tough. So I found the factor is that trust is very important, okay? And I'm not being braggadocious by no means, but when the survey, the Susquehanna survey that we did, which was scientific, 92 to 94% is, why do you watch the Sam Lesante or the girls or the community news and all the programs? And 92 or 94 says because we trust them.
Right.
That to me is the biggest factor of what we do. And so we need to trust our elected officials, okay? And from what I'm seeing, okay, you know, you're doing and I'm not telling you this, you know, you're doing a fabulous job. You really are. In dealing with these people intelligently. Folks, I'm talking to Romilda Crocamo, and I've said that many times. I love the name, I tell you, Romilda.
Thank you. I was named after my grandmother.
Beautiful name. We'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Once again, thank you for making the Sam Lesante Show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. Taken from our scientific poll from Susquehanna Polling and Research, they were voted the #1 research polling company in the United States. So we really appreciate that. SSPTV.com, all of our shows, including the show we're doing today. Very happy to have on the show Romilda Crocamo, who is the Luzerne County Manager, and who's handling $350 million a year. Good thing is, no tax increase, and since 2018, practically nothing other than 11 cents, and that's good to hear. Looking at some of the current things that are happening, okay? Elections, all right?
Right.
Can we trust the elections? We're not going to go into chaos or whatever. Make me feel comfortable.
You can trust elections, and we've been giving weekly updates of what we're doing to prepare for elections. People have to understand elections, running an election is an enormous task. And it's not just one day, it's months of preparation to go into that one day when we collect all the ballots and we start counting the ballots. It's more complicated now than when I started in 2016 as the county manager. Elections present enormous challenges. But we're being very, very open and honest about what we're doing at elections. We invite the board in to watch and assist. We have deadlines of when certain things have to be done. For example, we have to proofread the ballots, and that doesn't happen once. It happens over and over and over again. We have to proofread the ballot that appears on the electronic marking devices, and we have to proofread the actual physical ballot. And every time you change something when you send it to the printer, because we have mail-in ballots now, every time you send something and change something, as everybody in publishing or when you have to edit something, the print shifts. So we have to constantly proofread and proof the ballots, and we're in the process of doing that. I like to call the group that we have doing that the I-team because they have to eye the ballots. I will be participating in that. I will put a shift in to proof the ballots. And we have a checklist. We have a manifest that we're following. We meet every week. We brought in the former lead counsel for the Department of State for elections. He's assisting us. So he's creating our standard operating procedures because we don't have one and we need one. And we meet with him every week. And then our team internally meets, we'll be meeting every day from now until Election Day. And we can prepare, and we will be prepared. Things happen on Election Day. For example, judges don't show up. They just don't show up, or poll workers don't show up. And we have to shift very early in the morning because the polls open at 7. So that time period in the morning is when we get the most calls. So those are things that we can't control. But my motto is we need to control what we can control. So there may be things that happen on Election Day that are out of our control. Example, a judge might not show up to the polling place. We have contingency plans. It may take us maybe a half hour or an hour to get those contingency plans in place. But what we can prepare, we are preparing. And I have to say that our employees in the Bureau are dedicated they're fair, they want it to work, and they're doing everything that they can. They're working very hard right now. As a matter of fact, before I came today, I was on the phone with our deputy, and she was bringing me up to date on certain things that were going on in elections. So yes, I think you can be confident in the Luzerne County elections.
Why don't we have, like we have computers and we have emails?
Mm-hmm.
I email you something and you get right back to me. So why isn't there like a central place when you have computers and
Mm-hmm.
you know and when you vote, automatically those goes registered into a main computer instead of having the paper and the this and that stuff?
It's the legislature. You have to go to Harrisburg to change it.
Oh, you want to play that game with me, huh?
No, but it's true. I mean, they're in control of elections.
No, I'm kidding.
And I'm going to be absolutely upfront. I'm an advocate. Our election code is antiquated, and we really need some legislative action, and we need a uniform standard. We go through elections. I can tell you, it's very frustrating. We get guidance from the state, but one county may be doing things one way, another county's doing it another way. We need something that's uniform.
Remember when you would, when the old elections, you went in, and at the end of the night,
and you open up
and they read them, you knew the winners were. And now you have, I mean, I know people don't vote because, you know, they don't trust the paper, you know.
Right.
They take the thing and then you have to bring it over
Put it
here.
in the scanner.
And then they have the other pens if it doesn't write. I mean, and so it's like, why make it so complicated? Just go in, have a computer, you know, hit the thing, you know, whatever, your name is registered that you voted, okay? And you don't have this,
Right.
all
Well,
this.
part of it is that it has to be a closed system.
Yes.
And which it is. I mean, right now it is a closed system. But those changes, the election, the electronic machines are authorized by the state. So we couldn't go out as Luzerne County and say, oh, we're going to have people vote on their computers and it's going to come to the central location.
Yeah.
It has to come from the state.
How do you handle the accountability with your divisions, okay? Do you take their word for it when I come in and I say, here's my budget, this is what I'm in, okay? And, or is there a check and balance type thing?
Well, for the budget, we initially take their word, and then as the process goes on, there's more questions, and we want them to substantiate what their needs are. But accountability is key to the success of any organization, and I have to trust my division heads, but they know that I have a high standard and I will hold them accountable. And they have to strive for that, and they do. And I ask tough questions. I got to give you an example. If we have a bidding process, I know that there are council members that will ask to have proof of all the different bids and what the criteria was. So I don't wait now for council to ask that question. I ask the question. And now the departments know that if there are bids or responses to our proposals, that I ask the question and they have to prove to me that their recommendation to choose a certain vendor is one that's based on the actual, the bids. So, yeah, they know.
And this, as Dave did it, you can see the results here.
Right.
Over throughout the years, okay, where you're taking $29 million a year off the debt, okay?
Right.
And which is great, and you're maintaining no taxes,
Right.
okay, up until now, okay? Even though there's such a demand on the different divisions, okay?
Right.
And that's why I'm saying about accountability, because here again, people watching here, they don't have time to spend, what are we doing? All they know is that they get a tax bill.
Right.
And they have to pay that tax bill. And they're hoping that, you know, it's money well spent.
Right.
For the benefits they get. I'm talking to Romilda Crocamo, my friend. She is the county manager, doing a great job. We're very happy to have her. We were advocate going back. Have Romilda there, and certainly you can see what kind of job she's doing. We'll come back to wrap it up right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Romilda Crocamo is the Luzerne County Manager. She's here today. If you just tuned in, you know this show was seen many, many times. Go to our website, go to YouTube channel. Romilda, in closing, what would you like our viewers to know about what's happening in Luzerne County?
I want the viewers to know that Luzerne County is moving forward. It's a positive direction. We are at the crossroads of 80 and 81. We can really, if we collaborate and work as a unified group, we can really move Luzerne County forward. We're committed to transparency. We're committed to collaboration with municipalities. Accountability, which is what you brought up, is key, and transparency. That's what I'm committed to do.
Well, you're certainly doing a fine job, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
You know, this Sam Lesante Show and our channel is always open to you to get any information that you need to get out there to the viewers.
I like that.
Speaking of that, in the Wilkes-Barre Mountaintop Kingston area, you can watch us every Saturday and Sunday evening from 7 to 11 p.m. and of course 24/7 on channel 13 and 513 on Service Selected Cablevision. Of course, our YouTube channel, Rumble, and Facebook and all that stuff I don't understand, we're on. Okay, we'll see you next time.